We are going to get started. As you can see, I have a little timer here that we will start when the scan itself starts. Now the workflow, we're going to talk through the workflow. So even with that, we'll still have that portion timed, including the talking, and see where we land. I want to thank everybody for joining today's webinar. It's going to be fun because there's no PowerPoint, minus what you're seeing. I guess it's a lie. 2 slides. So this is about, doing floor flatness in minutes and how we are able to optimize that. I mean, normally the workflow of scanning and then doing floor flatness analysis is a full day situation. Sometimes even 2 days. You've got to process the scan data back in the office. And these things, these all take time, and time is money, and it's and also it can be too late to know something, whether if you're scanning wet concrete or whatnot. But we're going to jump right into introductions. So let's do that. A few housekeeping items. So all of you are muted, but please feel free to ask questions over the chat. We won't get to those questions maybe or instantly, but there will be some time while we're in the workflow itself where we may be able to or I will be able to answer those questions, or Trevor or Zach will be able to answer those questions. So please enter those in. And then at the end, we'll still have plenty of time for Q&A. This webinar is being recorded, so if you have to leave the webinar, it will be there for you at in your inbox to see. We'll also post this to our website at clearedge3d.com. So right into introductions. So I'm James Norris. I'm our Vice President of Industry Strategy. Really, I'm just out there, talking to our clients, and we're just ensuring that we're not solving, a problem in terms of a solution. We are trying to create something meaningful for workflows that are out in the field to allow people whose feet are on fire when they're not looking for some other new piece of tech. They just want to solve their problem, right? We need to keep that as simple as we can. And that's really it. That's the heart of where we're going at ClearEdge and as a company. With that, I'll just pass it off to Trevor. Trevor, why don't you go for it?
Hi, I'm Trevor. I've been with ClearEdge for almost about 8 years now. So I've really specialized in kind of implementing a lot of the ClearEdge solutions to our clients to really streamline workflows and really kind of bring the best of laser scanning to the market. And then that's just kind of my quick introduction. I guess I'll give it to you, Zach.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Zach. I'm a lead applications engineer here at ClearEdge 3D. I've been with the company for about 3 years now, and my main job is to kind of focus on making sure that every new release is good to go before we allow other users to download it and use it. I also focus on providing support for all of our users on the Navisworks Rithm or Verity Navisworks Rithm side. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Okay, well, with that, Trevor and Zach, I'm going to pass the reins over to you and get right into the live stream. So starting now.
All right then. So here we are. We're actually on site in a parking garage, and we're going to do our scanning, and then we'll pass it over to Zach, and then Zach will actually take us through the FFFL as well as the heat map. One of the most important things about our workflow is going to be data collection. And so the instrument we're going to use for today is going to be the slabs. So I've already got the instrument leveled. I've already got it set up. So we're going to go ahead and start the scan. And while this is scanning, we're going to go ahead and kind of do our little scanner dance, as we call it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why this instrument is so good for doing our FFFL. So the first thing I want to actually talk about is down there a little bit farther. We can see we have a 360 prism set up. So one of the things that makes the GLS unique is that in addition to the standard registration methods of, say, doing cloud to cloud, it can also detect 360 prisms as well as the kind of standard survey prisms. And the reason that's so important is because a lot of a large flat horizontal kind of surface cloud-to-cloud algorithms aren't going to be the best, especially if there's not a lot of like unique geometry to work in. So that way, by using more of a survey approach, I can ensure that I have the best registration kind of available. The second thing that I want to point out is the GLS actually has a purpose-built, kind of moving around here real quick, it has a purpose-built floor flatness mode. So to those of you familiar with scanning, one of the things is when you're working on a kind of on the floor in a standard kind of instrument, the farther away you get from the scanner, you end up having these bands. And so say, for example, if the scanner has a range of maybe about 100 meters, that banding effect will start developing after maybe like say like the first 30 meters. And so that means for like floor flatness and stuff, you can't use the full range of the scanner. The GLS, on the other hand, using that floor flatness mode, will actually modify the laser scanning pattern. And so that way you get full consistent data out to the full range of the scanner. So for example, in this instrument right here, I think the range is a little over 100 meters. So we can plop this down in the middle of a parking deck, or as we have, or say like a parking garage or on your slab, and we can basically shoot the full range of that instrument and collect data for our FFFL analysis. The second thing is, as we kind of move around here a little bit, is it actually also has two modes for that FFFL, or the floor flatness mode. The second mode is going to be the high-powered mode. So the high-powered mode will actually boost up the, as you can see, this is definitely a live parking deck, so we'll let that pass through real quick. A little vibration for the instrument, so the instrument has paused itself. There we go. So we'll continue on now. So with that high powered mode, that's going to be really useful for scanning areas with like, say, for example, high water content, basically reflection. So I can crank that laser scan up to ensure, again, that I'm getting good results, that I'm not having bad returns. Again, say, for example, if I'm scanning concrete while it's been first poured. So we're going to go ahead. We got probably about another 40 seconds left on this. And again, we're doing a full 360 dome scan right now to capture this whole area. A lot of times to may spend a little bit less time instead of doing the full 360 dome, I also have the option just to do window scanning on the instrument. So that way I can really isolate just the area of I'm looking to analyze. And again, that also helps save me time. So, all right. And it looks like we got just about 10 more seconds left, or about 15 seconds left, so we'll let this finish off right now. So, all right. And there we go. If you want to over here real quick, we can see our results. So there we have our initial data view. We can see what we just collected to ensure that, again, we've got that full spread on our floor, ensuring that we have all the points that we'll need for our next step, and that's going to be the Rithm. So for that, we're just going to do a single scan. So now we're done. I'm going to go ahead, pop the SD card, and I'll pass it to my colleague, Zach. Let's go ahead and perform our FFL. So if you'll come with me.
All right, so I've just saved out my NWF. Now the Rithm application is prompting me to save out a Rithm project. And because Rithm is a plugin, we want to maintain a one-to-one relationship with our NWF. So I'm just going to click New Project, and I'm going to keep my naming convention the same and save it next to my NWF just for organizational purposes. Okay. And what's happening now is Rithm is actually pulling all of the points we've sectioned inside of Navisworks into itself so that we can go ahead and perform our floor flatness analyses on the sectioned off data. All right, and as you can see here, I have Rithm and I have the floor points from the scan that we just did. Now, going ahead and moving into our floor flatness analyses is going to be pretty quick and easy. The first thing I want to do is come over here to my Builder toolbar, click this Services button, and we're actually going to start with this tool called Debris Filter. When I select debris filter, I'm going to start by left-clicking around an area of the points I'm interested in for analysis. And this is going to define the area of the points that I will use. Now when I'm done outlining my area with just these 3 lines, I can click enter, and Rithm will close off that area for me. So in this debris filter, I can actually come through and edit settings to help us fine-tune how we're defining what debris is on our floor points. For now, I'm just going to leave this as default and apply. And anything in red is detected debris that Rithm will actually remove, so it won't interfere in our analysis. So we only really have a little bit of detected points here in red, and that's more or less glass. That was a little area of glass that was scattered around the floor. There is some glass that's scattered around the parking garage here today. So it detected that little bit there, and it will ignore it for our further surface maps and floor flatness analysis. Now, once I've gone through and gotten these results from our debris filter, in that same menu for the settings, I can click this Add Surface button. And what this will do is it will give me an option to create a heat map or a contour map. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by creating a heat map. Now when I click heat map, I get some heat map settings that I can edit, such as I can edit the coloring mode if I want a high-low color style map or cut fill. For now, I'll leave it as high-low, and I'll keep everything the same here as well. And I'll go ahead and click apply. And just like that, we have a heat map of that defined area. So this is a parking garage. I wasn't expecting it to be completely flat, but you can see there we have the bands of green that are represented here in our scale. So we go from high to pretty flat to low. And that makes sense because this is a parking garage. It's a little bit slanted. And that's it for a heat map. Once I'm done with that, I can actually close out of this. I can go to my edit menu up here and I can hide that result so it won't interfere with the next surface map that I create. And that next surface map I create is actually going to be a contour map. So if I reference my debris filter settings again and re-click Add Surface, this time I can click Contour Map. It'll still use that original defined area that I had from debris filter. And now I can go through and edit my contour map settings, such as how frequently do I want a contour measurement, how common do I want lines to appear based on a height interval, how rough or smooth do I want my lines to be, and also what coloring mode do I want. For now, I'll leave all of this default and I will click OK. We'll give Rithm a couple seconds here. And there we go. So there's my contour map based on that defined area. And it actually, if you remember looking back at the heat map, this is actually a pretty good representation of what the heat map showed as well. Now the cool thing about contour maps is we can actually export these out as DXF files, and we could bring that back into, say, Magnet. We could bring that back into Navisworks if we wanted to, and overlay it on top of our point cloud, so we have our lines directly superimposed on top of our scan data to then give us the same type of representation that we're seeing here instead of Rithm. That's pretty much it for the surface maps. I will go ahead and hide this one as well. And there's one more tool in the Builder toolbar that I want to cover before we move on to our ASTM tool. What that tool is going to be found in our analysis button here. And it's going to be this grid of points. Now this grid of points allows us to create a grid of spot checking elevations, so that we wouldn't have to spend as much time in the field manually doing so. So what I can do here is create a descriptor. We'll name this something like point. We'll make the starting number 1, and we need to define a spacing for the grid. The spacing for the grid is actually how Rithm automatically determines our spot checks based off of the placements of our left clicks, and I'll show that here in just a second. So I'm going to make the grid spacing, let's do 10 feet here. I'll click continue, and then Rithm will actually tell me how to start. So it's going to say begin by identifying the corner grid. All I do is left click where I want the corner of that grid to be. Then I define the length, which I can do over here. Just left click again and it'll every 10 feet mark a point. And then I can define the width. We can do that down here. So there we have our grid of elevation points. And when that is completed, we actually get this little report menu that is automatically created that shows us all of the information that we calculated out. More importantly, the Z value. These are going to be our elevation spot checks. So with just a couple clicks, we can very quickly just gather these elevation spot checks throughout the scan that we just completed. Now to add on top of this, we could also automatically generate a report based off of what is here instead of our Rithm dialog. That all we have to do is click Create Report. And we can either choose to generate a Word document or a PDF. I always like PDFs. You just need to choose where you want to save it. We'll name this Grid of Points. And just click Create Report. And what Rithm will do is it will write that PDF file. As you can see here, gives us a little screenshot of the grid we created, alongside of all those metrics that were calculated out as well. That's pretty much it. So if we go back to Rithm now, I'm actually going to hide those points. We can then move on to the last tool I wanted to show off today, which is going to be our ASTM E1155 floor flatness measurement tool. This is actually going to be in our inspector toolbar, so I need to close out of the builder toolbar. We're going to re-render our point cloud because we're switching tools. I'm going to click inspector toolbar now, and as you can see, I have a floor flatness ASTM E1155 button. And when I select that, Rithm is going to ask me to define another area, so this one's a little bit separate than the debris filter we used in the builder toolbar. So I'm just going to define another area here. There we go, click enter. And once we define that area, we actually get this little nifty dialog box that pops open. And this box helps us dynamically show that we're within the ASTM E1155 tolerance, so that when we create our floor flatness reports, we're creating it to the exact standard of ASTM. Now, once I have this defined area and my dialog is shown, all I need to do is start left-clicking inside of this box to start creating my runs. The neat thing about this tool is if anyone here is familiar with using a dipstick or has ever seen one used in the field, this tool is a digital version of a dipstick. We're actually going to create runs, and each run will have steps along it, and Rithm will do the calculation to kind of tell us how flat and how level our floor is based off of those runs. So all I need to do is left click, and as I drag my mouse, you can see that that length in the dialog is dynamically updating. So if I left click here, that run will be created. Now, I already have that created. If I hold down Shift and left click, I can actually copy that exact length of line that I made earlier. So right now we're at 72. I need to go ahead and try and create some vertical lines here that are about equal in length to those two horizontal lines I made. So if I do this, I can actually left click here and drag this. We can try and do, let's make it 26, and I can go through and I can keep trying my best to make sure that our horizontal is as close to vertical, or vertical is as close to horizontal as possible. So I can go through and shift left click these to copy the lengths here. 78 and 104. So I still don't have all green check marks. So what I can do is just create another horizontal line here. And let me just do one like this. And there we go. So now I have about equal length of my horizontal samples and my vertical samples. I have all green check marks, thus saying that I am now within our ASTM tolerance. So once I'm here, I can just click Begin Analysis. And Rithm is going to go ahead and calculate our FFFL values. So you can see there we have some visual representations, but the thing I want to point to the most is this report dialog that we have inside of Rithm. We have a run represented here in this table for each one that we created. And as I select it, it'll be represented here in yellow, like so. And each run will actually show us the step information along each run. Now, the cool thing about this is I can actually go into this reports tab, and I can name this whatever I want. I can name this, parking garage. I can get the location that this project was at. I can even be as specific as adding a pour date and a scan date if I want to. And also, if I'm within a certain project specification, I can change that here in my overall flatness and levelness so that my report will be represented with those values as well. So once I've gone through, I've created my lines, I have all of these results here. I can just click Create Report, and Rithm will automatically create a PDF for me with a screenshot of what we have here, all of the metrics defined for our floor flatness and floor levelness, whether it's a pass or fail. So as you can see here, we pass the flatness test, but we fail the levelness test based off of these project specifications up here. Not only do we have all of that, but we also will have visual graphs that represent how flat or how level our floor is. And each one of these graphs is relative to a run that we created. So this one is for run 3, this one is for run 4. And as you can see, based off of these graphs, these are not the greatest results for floor flatness, floor levelness, but that's okay. This was just a parking garage scan. But the tools are all the same. It's very quick and easy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to show off today.
So this, you can look us up on LinkedIn, but I would say that another easy way is, if you have questions regarding hardware, software, just reach out to marketing@clearedge3d.com, and then we will filter that down to all the right people. Additional questions. Another thing we offer full workflow training. So if you're wanting to get into this, sometimes, many times you just are handed like a piece of hardware, then it's like, go be great. And that's just not, you're not going to succeed. We always suggest doing training, and that's just a part of what ClearEdge does, and it's who we are when we sell our software and hardware. So I think that please reach out. We are more than willing to get on a call with you for any questions you have at any time. So let's see if there are any more questions. Does it matter which scanner we have? No, so it depends on what you're doing. So if you're scanning wet concrete, then it matters that you do have a GLS. But if you are scanning a typical floor, probably not. And I would ask, I think, so Marcus, I would say just reach out to us. We can tell you based on your scanner if it's good for the needs of what you're trying to achieve. And we won't lead you astray. We'll say, yeah, that one's fine. Our goal is just to allow you to do your work with what you have if possible. But if not, we'd be very honest with you about that. Very narrow aisle. I will have to answer Thomas later. Okay, and great. I really don't think there is anything more. We're not going to try and make this go any longer. We are at time. So I would say, thank you everybody for joining today. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe, and also just keep pushing forward and revolutionize where you can, when you can, and stay productive. We'll talk to you later.